Welcome back to another bus conversion video. One of the things that I've noticed about the bus conversion is that every once in a while I get caught up thinking about how the overall project and all the things that have to happen. And that oftentimes makes me like not just go out and get to work on it. And so that's one of the things that I think is helpful. It's just kind of focusing on the thing that you can do right now and then doing that. That might seem obvious, but when you're in the game, you're worried about it a lot. First off, I started playing with how to fill the holes. The other day, I used some bondo and I learned that you couldn't do it on these holes. And then I've also used some epoxy. Now the epoxy looks like it's dripped through. This is the epoxy, and this is the bondo. It's the bondo, when I put those on the bolt holes, you can see that there's one, this one. So the bondo really filled that hole in well, and we can paint directly over that. So I think that the bondo is going to be our go-to versus the epoxy. You guys remember in the last video that I grinded all this down, and as you can see, just over the weekend, we've got a little bit of surface rust here. So that shows that we really need to finish all the grinding and paint the floor so that we stop all this rust from happening. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention. So it was raining a lot in the last few days. So what I did was I went along here and I taped up all with this green little spots. I taped up where I saw holes coming through in the roof. And now that it's getting warmer and it's not gonna rain, I'm going to be able to paint the roof and then put some clear silicone in the places where it didn't work. And then the roof should be watertight, which will give us the idea of, okay, now we can start filling it in with insulation and the wood and things. So it's gonna be rainy for the next few days, which is great. So we've got a lot of time to get this stuff done. Good to go. I wanna share a quick tool tip. Sometimes scraping things off of weird spots is pretty challenging. And so here's what I do. This is just a piece of duct tape with a razor blade on it. And if you use your fingers, if you wear some really nice gloves, you can really control it and get off gunk like this. And you can do it really, really efficiently. Find spots like this where there's a little bit of paint, but it's not in great condition. And you can just scrape it off like that. So my battery-powered grinder ran out of battery, so I decided to switch over to a cordless one that we had sitting around. I've already just turned the cordless one on, and I can tell that it's already really powerful too, so I feel like this is really going to change the game. One good thing is now I can put a cutoff wheel on the battery-powered one, and I can use the brush on the motor-powered one, so when I come up upon the screws that we missed, or the ones that are really low on the ground, I can just switch over, cut it, and then be done. I want to talk for a second about rust. You see, on my bus, I've got spots like this. And I consider this a zero rust situation. I can just clean this and paint it, no problem. Now, this is probably the more common type. It's just the surface rust, and I'm able to grind it down and get into it. I feel like this has to go. What do you think? You see, when I grind them down, I can get them down to here. This is one I'm particularly happy with. As you can see, there's just no more rust around here. So this is very much just bare metal. Now, in some places, it just had a bit more. There was so much rust that the metal seems a bit discolored. So I'm calling this good. Do you think that's a good idea? If you've got an opinion about that, I would love to hear it, because the truth is, I don't know. I think that it's gonna be fine. If you paint over that kind of dark stuff with Rust-Oleum, is that gonna solve your problem? Are you never gonna have rust problems again because you filled the ground with bondo and you did Rust-Oleum all across the steel floor? I don't know. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Hey V, what are you doing now? Why are you mopping the floor?
We are mopping the floor because you grinded the floor. Now and then I broom the floor, and then I vacuum the floor, and now we're going to mop the floor, and we're going to dry the floor. We're going to paint.
Yeah, just put it on the other side of the camera then.